It's rock and roll bedtime today, so I'm going to try and attempt to get, if I can't finish it, half of it completed and put into the van. At least the bottom frame of this has got to be completed today, and then I can probably try and finish the rest of the bed tomorrow. But yeah, I've decided to go for the rock and roll bed type thing in the back of the van, just to give me a little bit more room up the front. I've emptied the van. I'll just quickly show you what we've got going on out under the carport. Oh, right. So we've got bedding over there, the old bed dismantled over there, and then the kitchen is dismantled over there. So there's the porta potty. So I'm just going to prop you back on the porta potty. I hope you don't mind. Anyway, the van's empty. If you didn't watch the last video, I'm going to keep the diesel heater exactly where it is because, quite frankly, I can't be bothered to drill holes back in under the van. It was quite an effort. So I'm going to leave it where it is, but that's fine because here is just a template. This isn't the finished thing, obviously. This is just a template, the wall, if you like, of where the kitchen unit's going to be. So I know where I can take the rock and roll bed up to. So we've got quite a bit of room to play with, sort of. And yeah, so the bed's going to be over here. So the bed's going to be over the diesel heater anyway, and then it's going to have the board down at the front as well. So you're not actually going to see this, and the bed's going to be higher. And there's going to be a little circular hole. So you know those breathing holes that you have to keep, to stop the mattresses from sweating. There's going to be one placed directly above the filling cap for the diesel heater. So all I've got to do is lift the cushion up, and in we go. Then I might make a little cover just to go over it, just to stop any whiffs of diesel coming up through the bed, because you don't want that when you're sleeping at night. I've had that before when I spilt some diesel, and it's not pleasant, I can tell you. It's 9 o'clock, Saturday morning. It's later than I wanted it to be. I wanted to be out here at 8, by the lay-in and a coffee. So let's get cracking and let's get this build done. Okay, so the mattress is in. I've just put that in there for sizing. I've done my measurements, and yeah, I think this is going to work. So basically, ignore this bit. This is my measuring. The mattress, I'm going to have another bit of mattress going across here, which goes along the side there. And basically, in short, let me show you vaguely, if you can see with the camera. Let me try and take you in the van. Right, the idea. Obviously, the bed is going to come up to here, so ignore the height. But this is just to show you roughly. And I need to cut this mattress. So that's the idea. Futon style, if you will. That's the idea. So it's going to come up to about here, the actual seating bit. So it's going to be about this height. Don't worry, it does give me plenty of room, especially as this is now going to be like a lounge chair. I can sort of slouch a bit because I always slouch anyway. So, but this is the general idea. And then obviously on the board, the mattress, boom, boom, will pull out. It's the plan anyway. Oh, right, so here is 3 sheets of MDF. Yes, I'm using MDF. Don't hate me, I know I should be using ply. I know MDF is actually quite heavy, but I wanted it to be solid, and it's easier to cut, and I think you can get a nice finish on it, so you can sand it off and it just looks better. I prefer it to ply and OSB. So 3 sheets of ply. They are 2 foot that way. So my thinking, if it's correct, would be next to each other, 4 foot, one more at the end, 6 foot. Now, obviously, the bit that you sit on, the actual sofa bit, is going to be cut in half. So it's only going to be about this. So I'm going to have a little bit more at the end to play with, if you get my drift. Anyway, let's put these aside for the minute because we're not going to be using these just yet. Just so you know, those 3 sheets came from Wicks. I think they're about £16 a sheet. So not cheap. So I've only got one shot at this. So measure twice, cut once. Measure twice, cut once, yeah. So first things first, I just need to work out where the frame's going to go and measure up. So this was actually, believe it or not, my bed that went across this way. This is actually the full length of it. Now, you know what I mean? Size of me compared to this, I'm 6'1", shrinking in my age, but last time I measured myself, I was 6'1" anyway. But this needs to go along there, but I don't want it going all the way along. So I need to cut it halfway because I'm making like a box frame which goes on the floor, and then the actual bed will pull out on top of it with a bracket which holds the end weight, which will be where my feet go down that end. So I just need to measure up and get that built. Right, so this bit I'm just making the square frame which is going to go on the top, which the actual rock and roll bed bit's going to sit on. I've got the legs. It's going to be 18 inches high off the ground, just so it just kisses the lip of the wheel arch, just like I've had before. So I've actually got the legs because I already had them for the previous bed and it was the same height. So all I need to do is just cut the square bit of the frame out, which I've measured up. I'm just about to cut now. I love this saw. Just mark that. I'm joking. This is the lengthways. So that was the width. This is the length. You watch. This is going to be wrong. Right. It's just trying to rain now, which is just typical. So there's the two lengths, and here's the two that are going across. All I need to do is just bracket them together now, and then we'll have the base, flip it over, screw the legs on, and hopefully I'm going to give the van a quick hoover and we can get it put in. So this is the frame here, which the bed bit is actually, God, it's actually quite heavy, which the actual bed bit's going to sit on. So I've made that already and put the brackets in. I don't know if you can see them there on each corner. And now all I've got to do is just attach legs either side, and then legs either side, this bit here, and then just screw it down onto the floor, and then I should be good to test the bed out and put it on top and screw it into the back of this, and hopefully it all works. Yeah, we'll find out in a couple of minutes. Okay, that's section 1 cut out. I've named that bit, I don't know if you can read that, bum part 1. This is the bit where my bum's going to be down on when I'm sitting down on the sofa bit. It makes sense to me. Bum part 1, and then it'll be back part 2, and then it will be something part 3. Right, there's bit 1 cut out. Let's get the next bit done. Second bit cut out, and this will be where my back's going to be against. So that's that bit done. I'm going to, where I've been cutting it, all the edges are a bit rough, so I'm just going to get my sand and just lightly sand over that. Do that a bit later on. So this is going to be called back number 2. Back number 2. So this is going to be the back part. I think I'm going to need to go and buy another sheet, to be fair. But let's cut this one. Hopefully I'm right. So I've got some company today on the table. We get lots of bees in our garden. We love bees, particularly my wife. She's even got a bee tattoo. She loves them that much. But I've got to be very careful where I tread because we've got bees resting on the grass and I'm walking around in bare feet. But look, this is, I just want to show you, this is our lavender out the front. And in a couple of hours when the sun comes out, if not now, we've got plenty of bees and plenty of butterflies going all the way along our pathway. And it really is lovely to see. But the bees get drunk on they get drunk on pollen and collecting stuff, and they get so tired they end up collapsing on the grass. So you've got to be careful not to stand on them. But yeah, let me just show you. So they're busy, hard at work. Right, so I've just laid it out on the table, and basically, in short, hinge here, hinge here, hinge here, hinge here, screws out of the way, and then a hinge, if you can see it, just down there. Okay, so that's how that's going to go, and that's how it's all going to fold together. So I'm just going to get the hinges in. I think I might need to do these hinges from behind, so from underneath. The only other thing I have realised is that they've got this ball on them here, so I'm going to have to leave probably a gap so they can bend, which is absolutely fine because that gives me an extra few inches to lay down. So there is a method to my madness, honestly. I'm no carpenter, I can tell you that much. You've probably guessed that by now. But yeah, and once I've got the hinges on, I'm going to go around with a sander and just sand down all these edges. Right, let's get cracking. Okay guys, a bit of a break from the filming because I've been busy sort of sanding it all down. I did miss this bit along here, but I'm not really bothered about that. And I've just gone around the edges here and just rounded them off. I'll show you that in just a second. In fact, I'll show you now. Let me get you. You're currently propped on my wheelie bins. There we go. So I just rounded them off. Where are we? There we are. Just so you can't really snag yourself on them. Just looks a bit neater, doesn't it? Right, there we go. You're back on the wheelie bins. Right, so basically, in short, you know how rock and roll bed works. This back bit's going to be pinned down so it won't move. And then all you've got to do is when the handles and the plinth is put on the front, just pull that. And down we go. Right. This is going to be at the front, these two metal legs. And that should sit flush there. And that's how that's going to sit. And then the actual rock and roll bit's going to sit on top. So let me go and get those bits, or that bit, and we'll do a dry fit and see how it works. Right, so the beauty of this, it actually folds up flat. So if I ever need to take it out for whatever reason, it shouldn't be too difficult to store it. Right, so let's hope this works. Okay, so I've got the actual rock and roll of it, if you want to call it that, in. So I'm just going to slide that way and unfold it and have a look on how we are for size. Now I'm not worried about that kitchen bit. So that screws down onto there. We are looking flipping good. Oh my days. That is looking perfect. I'm well happy with that. Right. This bit not so happy, but I can push the, I don't know if you can see, it's just protruding a little bit, but I can push that back. But in short, oh please fold down. That works a treat. Obviously this bit flipped up because it's not screwed down, but I'm just going to screw it and just test it out. There it is, and we pull this out. Now I did make a stop latch so that can't slide any further. All I've got to do is just lift it over the stop latch, and there we go. There is the bed. Okay, so next, if we go under the bed, I had to put this beam in here, supported by these alternate, so there's one on the other side as well, by this strut here. So when this bit of the bed pulls out, it's actually got some stability, and there's one just over there as well. And these slide back on this, and I'll show you if I can get the camera. Let me see. Not sure if I can do this. Right, you'll be able to see it in action. If that makes sense, you can see there how it slides back, and that stops it sagging. Yes. Now what I've got to do is the cushions, but that's probably, I'm not going to film that because all it is going to be the same thing but with cushions. But there we go, we are done. So what's next for the van? Well, we've got the kitchen down here, so I've made this just right so the fridge, let me just show you, I've made this just right so the fridge can open. So if I want to at night time, when the bed's out, we can just lean over and just grab ourselves a drink. I'm going to box it in and carpet this as well, and I'm going to have some nets on there for easy storage. The kitchen unit, and the kitchen unit's going to come along here up to here, and yeah, Much better layout. I don't know why I didn't do this in the first place. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. If you like this, please give me a thumbs up. Please, I would really appreciate it. And leave me some encouragement down below. Don't give up, Rick. Keep going. And if you haven't already subscribed and you've enjoyed what you've seen, please consider subscribing, because there's lots more to come on Rick and his van.